Welcome back to Panel Day Superheroes Ahoy. My name is Tushar. Today I've got for you Caster, the complete sets review. So, Caster is by Holy Cow Entertainment, and there is a Caster Volume 1. Now, Volume 1 has 6 issues. It's not a hardbound or a CE, but you get all 6 issues as individual books. They're all priced around 200 or 300, but the set comes at a discounted price, mostly around 700 or so. I got them in the New Year sale. And Caster 7 was released recently, somewhere mid last year, and this has been the hot item at Holy Cow appearances at Comic Cons. So this is Caster. Very quickly, I'll tell you my take on Caster. It's another of those books that I judged by the cover, and uh, maybe I thought I will not like it because of some of the themes, and it was somehow not working with me, the concepts of demons, angels, monsters, and the juxtaposition of an Indian setting of Delhi. And somehow something was not clicking with me. I read a few books of Caster, I think one or two books, and I think that's the difference that happens if you do a collection and then have a renewed respect or an eye towards reading books. There were many books that I didn't understand. Probably a couple of years ago, I was not giving them enough attention. I was not appreciating the writing or the art. I was basically not challenging myself to read them. But now, when I approach many books, I appreciate them, and it's not a forced appreciation. I end up liking them, and the same happened with Caster. So I read Caster, the complete set. Um, I picked up volume 7 in Bangalore Comic Con, and I read it, and that's where I thought this is something really different. Maybe I should revisit the first parts, the first 6 parts. So yeah, that's a long story about Caster, but basically this is Caster. There is 6 issues, and to tell you briefly about Caster, it's like I said, it's about demons, angels. It brings the concept of Christianity into the Holy Cow verse. Holy Cow always tries to challenge itself. So you can't, like when it started, it was Aghori and Ravana, and so they were like a mythology. People used to say they just make mythology books, and then Aghori was in the horror, so people used to say they just make horror books. So Vivek Goel, I think the team always tries to challenge, and I've read a lot about Holy Cow's evolution in this book. I'll just show you a few pages after I'm done speaking about Caster. So, like I said, with Caster, they bring the concept of Christianity into the Holy Cow verse, but in a very unique way. So, mainly what happens is there is uh, a heavenly realm that is shown a little later into the book, and it shows how the world was a darker place, and demons were influencing people to do their bidding, and angels fight back in the form of casters. So casters is a kind of an angel, and so like a flying angel. So you get that superhero element in Caster, and Caster is made, not born. And there's this entire story, and entire part invested from the books into that. And there's a character called Danny Mathews. He lives in Paharganj. He's a self-proclaimed king of Paharganj, a grunge kind of neighborhood of Delhi, which I personally love. I love Paharganj, and Danny Mathews comes from the streets of Paharganj and then realizes he is a caster, and then he accidentally gets merged with a demon, and then it opens up in great possibilities, right? Like you can imagine, the book goes to many different places in these 6 issues. uh, I'll just briefly tell you what happens. I'll not go deep into the story, but issue 1, you get introduced to the character, the lead character, his daily life. It has some kind of I mean, it's a mature audience, so there is some swear words, but it's not. I didn't feel like it's forced, like I feel most of the pop culture today. It's not just for the heck of it. There is some swear words here and there, and there is this world. He meets a girl. She's from Malawi, and he he tries to woo her, and there is and then uh, typically as is with such characters, he takes her to his hidden spots. Sorry. So he takes her to some of his hidden spots, and then they are living this life together. Suddenly, he has an encounter with a demon, and there's a strange encounter. He invokes this charm or this spell, and then he realizes he's become a caster. And there's another character that's also a she caster or a female caster, and then he's taken to Dr. Stone's hospice. So that's pretty much what happens in part number one. It's called caster, and the second part is called caster law. So you delve deeper into this mythology in kind of more of these demon characters, and there is some fun interactions between the lead characters of Nina and Danny in the caster form. They speak about the caster law, and there's a lot of action, heavy sequences that happen in this book. And then when there's a talk about caster law, then it goes into some ancient kind of mythology. So this reminded me of in the latest Thor movie how they go into the black and white realm, like the nowhere planet. And so then you can imagine part 3 will be something different, and that's how what part 3 is. It is completely in black and white, almost 70% black and white. I just love this book. I had no clue this is going to take this kind of a turn. It was in matte, these pages, and the art is just awesome. I mean, this is how the black and white art should be done, right? Like you actually feel the sketches as you go through them. So this red character and caster have a very interesting kind of a dialogue in this one, and that's when you see the character Danny take shape with his wit and with his brain and his negotiations, and so there was this fun part, and then he wakes up back from this dream. So this is caster 3. Caster 4, you get introduced to the character of Dr. Brimstone or Dr. Stone. There is again some great art here by Gaurav Shrivastav. Then you have Nina and Dr. Stone, and then so enough of this story is happening on Earth, as you can imagine, and that's when you move to another realm. So Leviathan, as the title suggests, it's about like big bad monster fighting. So you have monster fighting. There's this very beautiful panel here, but kind of a tribute to Mobius by always Presi Prasad Patnaik. And this is where the part 6 ends. 5 ends. I'm rushing through it, but this is Rise. This is like a demon again, Mammon, and Caster fights with him. So you will get very cool superhero action in this book, and then the final part is where you get most pages, most volume, and you get a full-blown story. Right now there is no confusion about who Caster is, so you get more characters like Bimbisar. You get a lot of comedy, humor, and there's a kind of overlap and kind of coming together of different mythologies. It's not just Christianity, and that's where I loved it, because in if initially you're thrown off by this book that it only deals with, let's say, one religion, it's not. It has a kind of a very open view, and a higher kind of take on many things. It talks about allegiance to spirituality. It has some philosophical theme which you will catch on the second read, which I did, and I found them really good. It talks about how we align to a higher being. Essentially, it's not aligned to one religion or one philosophy as such. So that's where you see meet of Caster happen. There is angels, demons, and monsters. As you can imagine, the character realizes his worth, and he's ready for more adventures at the end of Caster 7. And this is where you see a teased for a crossover between Castor and Okari. Okari is another character from the Holy Cow verse, uh, from the Operation Decay books, and it would be really interesting to see where this goes. So that's about Castor. Six issues and volume one, and essentially it's a story around 200 odd pages. I would highly recommend it. Now let me just quickly take you to the book art of Gaurav Shrivastav, how he has written about Castor, how he has written about the art. I'm sorry for the glare, but yeah, this is where he talks about Castor, and there are some sketches in here. How Gaurav talks how he enjoyed drawing the Delhi fixtures, like the statue of Hanumanji, and there's also ancient Baulis that are hidden away somewhere in Paharganj. I have been a big fan of the Baulis also in Rajasthan, as they're called stepwells. There you see the streets of Paharganj, Delhi, and this is basically character evolution through sketches. The art is obviously awesome. There was some complaints of Castor not being great in the writing department, but again, it's a matter of opinion, and I think you should give an unbiased chance to all the books. And so I did. Sometimes I don't end up liking or like things that are very popular or have great reviews, and sometimes I end up enjoying titles which are not that appreciated. I enjoy them a little more. That's why I never do ratings or countdowns. So this is a ancient demon, biblical demon Leviathan. This is another character in Castor, and this is the many faces and moods of Danny Mathews. This character is just 16 years old, so he's also going through his own like coming of age. This is the famous Mobius panel, and here he talks about like Castor introduces us to Christian concepts of heaven and hell. We decided to take some creative liberties with the design of heaven. Gaurav was highly inspired by the legendary artist Mobius and decided to give his style a shot. The beauty of this page is that colorist Prasad Patnaik also adapted his style to get as close to Mobius as possible. So yeah, this looks great. So that's the thing with Holy Cow. You get originality and you get like inspiration as well. And it's not like copying anything. These are artists who consume and creators who consume the art from the West and celebrate it in their own grand way. And then they end up creating something which is global, right? Like as you can see, this art is just awesome. So with Castor, you'll get a very action comedy kind of a genre, and if you love angels, demons, and monsters, you'll get that. You'll get a lot of action, great art, obviously by Gaurav Shrivastav, and that's about Castor. I'll just show you Holy Cow Universe's. So I'm really excited about Holy Cow's multiverse opening up, and these are some of these character drawings. So this is the Holy Cow universe. So we've covered Okari in Operation Decay talk. We have covered Dehek in some of the books. Castor I've covered. Then you have Ayut from Operation Decay books. Then you have the last Asuran Desh, and then you have Shaitan. I've covered Shaitan second season as well. So and that's about it. Then really I love the Holy Cow verse, or the HCVerse as they call it, and this was a short talk on Castor. Do check it out. Again, a reminder not to just write off things. If others say it's not good, do give it a try. At that note, I'll sign off. This is Panel Days, and do like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and thank you for watching.